I have an intention this morning, and that intention is to challenge the scope and the parameters of your awareness. I put a title for the talk down as The Sea of Tranquility. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Do you know where that is? The moon. Apollo 11, the eagle has landed. Well, the reason I chose that for the topic, I read a short essay a week or so ago, and it was called, We All Exist in a Sea of Love. And I read that essay, and I agree with every word that I read. And I thought, oh, I could share that with the congregation. It's pretty good. But then I got to thinking, our definition of love, how different that must be from person to person. There are some people who have had some very negative experiences from being in love. It's a different kind of love, but maybe we wouldn't all get that. So I'm going to talk about today the sea of tranquility and harmony. We are all in this sea of tranquility and harmony. This sea of tranquility contains every single molecule in the entire universe. And what is amazing is that no matter what's going on in this sea, it remains tranquil and it remains in harmony. And all of these molecules and bodies and persons and living things in the entire universe constantly have distractions. And disturbances. And yet, that harmony, that tranquility, in its entirety, remains tranquil and in harmony. It's not all upset because James had a car wreck last week. In the whole scope of things, doesn't make any difference. And these disturbances happen constantly, continuously, to every molecule in the universe. To each one of us. And sometimes these disturbances can be harmful. And whenever that takes place, there's an amazing truth about all living things, that immediately after a harmful disturbance, healing takes place. It's a truth of the complexity of creation, of all life. Yesterday we trimmed 3 trees out back. Those trees have already begun the healing process. We cut ourselves shaven or scrape ourselves, and within seconds, the healing process starts. You have a cold or a disease, immediately the healing process starts. All the antibodies start going to work. A large portion of our county caught fire and burned down this year. The minute the fire was out, the healing process, the rebuilding process, the rejuvenation process began instantly. It's human nature. It's the law of life. Whether it be conscious or subconscious or beyond any of our awareness, that's what happens to every living molecule. When we speak of harmony, we speak of intention, we hear so much about positive thinking and positive attitude. And I'm going to challenge your awareness. I think that's kind of limited thinking. Because in this universe, there is positive, negative, good, bad, hot, cold, going on all the time, loud, soft. It's going on every instant, everywhere in creation. And I think you can look for positive things or look for negative things. But I think it's far more important to insist that your awareness be aware that it's all going on. What's that famous quote that if you wish to have peace, you must first accept things as they are rather than the way you want them to be. So while everything's going on, Marjorie shared a video with us a while back that started off, a lady was laying on a beach and the camera was on her eyeball. And then the camera went out. And it went out millions of miles into space. And you saw the lady and then the country and then the globe. And pretty soon the planet Earth was smaller than our perception of a grain of sand in the universe. And then the camera came back in, went back to her eyeball, and then it went inside to all the atoms and all the things inside the human body and the bloodstream. And they were all alive. Everything is alive. All those molecules are experiencing disturbances. They're doing their life work. So to maintain a level of awareness that is aware that there is everything going on in this universe, and then to, on the other end of that awareness, realize the breaths you take. Realize that your hair is growing. Realize the blood pumping through your veins, doing their job. All in harmony. What is harmony? Harmony is the bringing together of several things. We think instantly of voices, sound, music making harmony. But in terms of our sea of tranquility, our universe that exists in an uncanny, unexplainable, understandable level of harmony, it's all these things coming together that create that harmony. And everything has been designed to be in harmony. The good stuff, the bad stuff, the hurtful stuff, the pleasant stuff, it's all part of the life experience. It's all part of the harmony that our life creates along with your life and your life and the rose bushes outside and the trees that we just trimmed. All life is designed and created to exist in harmony. And that harmony includes all of the disturbances, all of the joy, all of the sadness, all of the pain, and all of the pleasure. It's what this life experience is. And sometimes these disturbances can be very great and kill us. Well, that's part of the harmony too, life and death. A designed existence for every living thing. And what gives us a special privilege is that we can actually decide how we're going to react to some of these disturbances. We can actually decide which disturbances we take part in. We can decide how we respond to these disturbances. Most other living creatures, floral and fauna, don't have the decision privilege. They react and respond to disturbance the way they were designed. We have the privilege of deciding how we respond. I watched a special, I think it was on PBS, I don't know for sure. It was about civilization. And I think it hit the nail on the head, and I think it fits in with what I'm talking about this morning. When human beings began to come together into tribes and villages and form civilizations, all of a sudden, ground became an asset. When they were just hunters and gatherers and nomads, they realized that it was the cornucopia of plenty. It fed them and housed them and clothed, it supplied them. And they kind of lived at one with it. But when they started to civilize and form communities, they decided to start growing things, growing their food, and farming. And all of a sudden, that land, they kind of owned it. There was a sense of ownership. At least they protected it. They valued it to the point where they marked out their territory for their village or their tribe, and then they kind of owned that property. That was theirs. That was what provided food for them. And when they didn't have very good food supply, they'd go pay an unfriendly visit on their neighbors who maybe had a food supply. And they'd declare a little war and they'd take their food. And while we think this is violent and this is forceful and wrong, it goes on today all over the world. People wanting what they may not have enough of, so they'll go take it from somebody else. But we talk about a way of thinking, a way of reasoning here that is what that is caused by. Let's go annihilate this other village because they've got a lot of corn and we don't. But we do that for the good of the whole. The only problem is it's a very small thing they call the whole. It's not truly the whole. It's not the sea of tranquility. It's not the universe. It's not the species of humanity or all the species. It's just my family or my village, or my tribe or my country. It's all about awareness, my friends. The quality of our lives, the quality of our relationships is all about how aware we are of what's going on. Our awareness of all the disturbances that are taking place in every body, in every life, in every house, in every town, in the world, all simultaneously. And the trick is how we respond to that. The trick is being aware. I think all of us could use a lot of practice on being aware of this sea of tranquility that is tranquil. All the squabbling, all the bombs, all the car wrecks, all the shootings don't really disturb the sea of tranquility because they're minuscule. And most of the things in our life experiences that drive us crazy, upset us, cause us drama and stress, we really take a good look. We become aware of how insignificant they truly are. Might give us the opportunity to have a little different way of looking at things. And maybe we'll be more able to look for the beauty in everything. To look for the peace and the harmony in everything. It's a given that every life, every body has disturbances going on every millisecond. That's life. Do we see it as ugly or do we see it as beautiful? Do we see it as a disturbance or do we see it as a divine harmony that enriches the life experience of the universe? All the plants, the animals, the bugs, the water, all the molecules. Awareness. We are all floating in a sea of tranquility. And it's a sea of divine love, a sea of divine wisdom, a sea of compassion. And it has all the other things too. The pain, the discomfort, the awkwardness, the anxiety. It's all part of it. Somehow, if we can enjoy even these uncomfortable experiences, even the ugly, it's all part of the harmony. It's all part of the beauty of life. And we have the privilege to experience it. Let's sing together, let there be peace on earth. And know that we are that peace. We are that tranquility and that harmony. Let's stand up.